Innocent. Surprise.
Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I have the newest release from Holo. I have their new Cottagecore collection. For those of you who have been around the channel for a long time, I feel like some of y'all might have some preconceived notions about how I'm going to feel about this release.
Thanks, I hate it.
The Cottagecore collection is available right now on the Holo website. This release, thankfully, is not going to be a limited edition one. All of the polishes featured in today's video were sent to me by Holo and gifted PR. This video is not sponsored, but thank you very much, Holo, for sending these over to me. And as per usual, all thoughts and nonsense are my own. As always, in the description box, links where you can pick these polishes up, links to the brand's website, social media pages, my social media pages, and of course, timestamps as well. And as per usual, I'll save all of my thoughts and feelings for the end of the video. Let's just get into this one. For all of my swatches, I'll be alternating between using Holo smoothing base and their long-lasting base. The first polish today is called Nip in the Bud. Holo describes this one as a muted rose pink cream. Nip in the Bud had a fantastic formula. This is very much what I would describe as Holo typical creme formula. So it is on the thicker side, it self-levels perfectly, and is opaque in 1 to 2 coats. I agree with Holo color description on this one. This feels very like office appropriate neutral to me. While this isn't a shade that I personally enjoy just because I find it a little bit boring, I will still say it is a very pretty shade. It's very delicate looking, and I do feel like it fits the vibe of the collection really well, as well as the upcoming spring season. I was also really impressed by the formulation of this one. Here is Nip in the Bud with 1 coat of Garden Party Taco on top. I did not personally experience any staining with this shade, but as per usual, I would highly recommend doubling up on base coat if your nails are particularly prone to staining. This next shade is called Thyme After Time, and Holo describes it as a cool sage green cream. Thyme After Time also had a fantastic but slightly thicker formula. I did not personally find it too thick, but it was definitely on the thicker side. I was trying really hard to do careful application here, and you can see where I kind of dug the polish in on that first coat. So I will note, do not overwork this one. I feel like if you overwork it, you will definitely cause bald spots, kind of like what I did there, but by digging in my brush. Because this is such a light shade, I kind of assumed that it was going to feel very chalky, but I was pleasantly surprised that this does not feel chalky at all. I did, however, still do my typical slightly thicker coat application, which is kind of my go-to for lighter shades just in case, but I don't think that's actually necessary for this shade at all. And because this is a cream formula, it will definitely be very easy to remove. And again, if you're worried about staining, double up on your base coat because Holo creams are very pigmented. And now we have Touch Grass. Holo describes this one as a cool tone grass green cream. Touch Grass was a easy 1 coater on me. Just like the other polishes in this release, I did find it to be on the thicker side. Not so thick that I needed to add thinner, but just thick enough to be noticeable. This is going to be the first color description that I strongly disagree with. I do not see grass green in this at all. In my opinion, Touch Grass is more in the sage family, which I guess we could call sage a grass. Is it a grass? Maybe? Let me look that up. As it turns out, sage is not in fact a grass, so I take that one back. Touch Grass has that really nice kind of dusty quality that all of the polishes in this release feature. I did not personally experience any staining with this shade, but again, because it is so pigmented, I would definitely recommend doubling up on base coat if you were at all concerned about staining. I really like how this one looks at Garden Party Taco, by the way. And now we have Wild Child. Holo describes this one as a muted lavender cream. Wild Child had a fantastic formula. Once again, it is very much on the thicker side. I went in for a slightly thicker coat than I meant to on this one, so I was able to get it opaque on me in 1 coat. I would still recommend this one built up in 2. This is another shade in this release that I truly did expect it to be a chalky mess, and I was really pleasantly surprised that it was not in fact chalky at all. I once again do agree with Holo color description for this shade. It is definitely in that muted lavender family. And Wild Child is another one of the shades that I really liked paired with the Garden Party Taco. And now we have Skipping Stones, which Holo describes as a pale, cool toned baby blue cream. Skipping Stones is the shade in this release that I was most concerned about being just an ungodly chalky mess. This is such a pale color, and very oftentimes colors this light are just like to apply evenly and just streak free, so I was really concerned by the shade. So imagine how shocked I was when I saw that this was perfect on me in only 2 coats. I spent a couple of extra minutes just checking my nail to verify that I really did like how it looked on me in two coats, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Surprise, bitch.
I feel like Skipping Stones is going to be one of those shades that some people are going to say that it is a gray that leans blue, and other people are going to say it is a blue that leans gray. I'm personally going to go with a blue that leans gray. I just had to drop the exposure down a little bit because I feel like it was getting really blown out in the shot for some reason. And now we have Rose, Marry, Kill, and Holo Taco describes this one as a pale neutral pink cream. I really love it when Holo Taco throws in like a weird kind of cringy name. I feel like it gives things so much more personality when you're reading the name, you're going,
ugh. Brother, ugh.
Rose, Marry, Kill also had a fantastic formula. I was just so pleasantly surprised at how good these were. When it comes to pastel creams, I always go in with incredibly low expectations just because I always find the application on them to be generally pretty disappointing, and Rose, Marry, Kill definitely exceeded my expectations. I was really happy with how this one looked on me in two coats. While I do agree with Holo Taco's color description for this shade, I will say this is one of those colors that I really struggle with describing myself. This once again to me feels like an office appropriate neutral shade. Last but certainly not least, we have Garden Party Taco. Holo Taco describes this one as a scattered reflective flower topper. I know there's a lot of concerns about this one given Holo Taco's last foray into chunky glitter, so I just wanted to show how this one looks just pulling the brush up out of the bottle without shaking it or anything. So I'm happy to report Holo Taco seems to have learned from their mistakes, and they packed this bad boy full of chunky unky glitters.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers!
And yes, I am also still accepting apologies in the comment section from all the people who keep telling me that chunky glitter in nail polish isn't possible. Thank you. So I'm kind of anti-glitter placement as a general rule. I just kind of let the glitters fall where they may.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in.
So for this entire video, I've been showing Garden Party Taco just as I've been getting the glitters out on the brush with minimal placement on my end. I've pretty consistently gotten out anywhere from like 0 to 4 of the little flowers each time I've dipped my brush into the bottle. As a bit of a connoisseur, one might say, of chunky glitter nail polish, I had a few concerns about this one, specifically that there were such large chunky glitters in here and that the other components in the polish weren't going to be large enough and it would look like you have a lot of open space on the nail in between the big chunky glitter. I do still feel to some degree that that is in fact true. However, it's not nearly as bad as I was expecting. The addition of what I think might be either purple or iridescent, really tiny hex glitters, and then flakies, and then some type of holographic as well. You have a lot more sparkle on the nail and it looks way better than I thought it was going to. I still feel from my own personal preferences that this could be just like a little bit better with some larger glitter in here. And all that is to say that this was a fantastic glitter topper. It applied so smoothly, so evenly, and because of the glitter in this one, you're gonna want 1 to 2 layers of top coat to smooth everything out. Those larger glitters will stick to your nail when you're removing this one, so I would recommend the soak off method. You might need to soak a little bit longer to get the flowers off, but nothing's gonna be too outrageous for removal since the larger glitters are not that dense. And to kick off the comparisons, we're going to be comparing Skipping Stone. Just going off what I saw in my Holo Taco drawer, I thought this would be most comparable to Bet Bet Blue and Vitamin Glow. It's significantly lighter than both of those. While I don't personally feel this is the case, I think for a lot of people, the differences between Lavenda and Wild Child are just not going to be drastic enough to justify a purchase. The gray that's added to Wild Child mutes out the base a little bit and also makes it look a little bit darker. I think the two polishes also have very different vibes going on for them. So I do acknowledge there's probably a good chunk of viewership right now saying how many pale purple shades do you need? And to those people I say, it's nail polish, you don't technically need any of it. Rose, Marry, Kill is probably one of the harder shades in this release I found to compare. I feel like next to these pink tone shades, it's looking very grayish colored, but then put it in between 2 purple shades and suddenly it's looking kind of purple. I then decided to put it next to Ivory Tower and Duct Tape Gray because I was really struggling with what color family to compare it to because it just kept changing colors. And then at some point I decided to throw in See Y'all Later Chai because I was like, oh, it's looking kind of taupish. Let's throw in a tan, and no. And since I had already shown Nip in the Bud with some pink shades, I decided to show it with some peaches and tannish kind of colors. As someone who doesn't really vibe with this color scheme, I feel like this would be a really cute Skittle. I'm sure I'm not the only one who was questioning strongly why on earth we had two greens in this release, but seeing the two polishes side by side, they're not that similar, honestly. I was really surprised at the number of pale-ish kind of green creams that I had from Holo Taco. I didn't realize they had released this many. I didn't think that any of these polishes were similar enough to past shades that I'd say it was weird that we have these now. Alright, so final thoughts. I know I probably said pleasantly surprised like 8 million times in this video, but I feel like that's my general feelings about this release. I have a general overall negative opinion on pastel creams, so it's just not something that I really like gravitate super strongly towards, so I just kind of expected them to be bad. I'm sorry. I've been programmed by nail polish to just find pastel creams to be 3 coaters and then like I can still see dark spots, so I just go into swatching every single one with like the lowest of low expectations, and these were just really fantastic. And even though the pastel creams themselves were like also amazing, I really feel like the biggest shocker from this release is for sure going to be Garden Party Taco. I'm really happy to see that Holo Taco took customer feedback on the polished Starry Eyed and really increased the amount of glitter that they're going to add into their chunky glitter polish. I feel like y'all know I really love chunky glitter polishes. I know a lot of people were really excited when they saw the sneak peek in the Holo Royalty survey for this particular polish. I wasn't excited for it, to be honest. I thought it looked bad. I did. I thought that the ratio of chunky glitter to other glitter looked way out of balance and that it was just gonna look really weird on the nail, and I honestly was not looking forward to it. And again, I do still feel that like we could have added more glitter to make it not look so like sparse in between, but overall, I do think it does look pretty dang good. So yeah, I thought this was a really fun release, even though I still don't think it was the release for me personally. I do still think this was like a fantastic release, and if you don't have colors similar to these already, that these are all pretty dang good to use, and hopefully they'll go on sale during the royalty sale coming up in a couple of months. Just saying. And that's also not insider information before someone tries to quote me on that. I'm just assuming because every year in the spring we have the Holo royalty sale. Wait, is that the spring or is that summer? I feel like that's spring. I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments section if I'm wrong. As far as personal favorites for this release, I'm obviously gonna pick Garden Party Taco as my favorite. If you really thought I was gonna pick a pastel cream over a chunky glitter topper, you must be smoking something. 'Cause like, I'm very predictable when it comes to glitter, okay? As far as pricing and sale information goes, the Cottagecore collection is available right now on the Holo Taco website. Holo Taco polishes are generally priced between $12 and $14. I'm gonna take an educated guess that the creams in this release are gonna be $12 and the topper is gonna be $14.
Wrong.
I don't actually have pricing right here in front of me, so like I'm just going off of remembrance, which my remembrance is spotty at best. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout to my channel members, Stormy fans, Shenanigang, names of course all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that in the description box, but as always, please do not feel pressure to do so. Just like the video, comment, share, subscribe, all the things, and seriously, we are good. If you like seeing my face here on the YouTube, just know I also have a second channel. If you are into books at all, I recently posted a new video on my second channel about all the books that I read for the month of January. So just thank y'all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.